substance.
I say a couple to the flex they represent for Win Global TV. So I say, you know the code in the Win Global TV is what fully blessed on 90 days. So I say, yeah man, to the fullest. Yeah man, make sure them log in to Win Global TV. So I say, check it out. So I say, one cup of flex. So I say, Win Global. When you watch now, see them a plan up and a try to put them on it and we heard. But man, I live too long, them want Win Global fitted. To him juggle so smooth that them want him life for dread. I throw the bank, I like the work, but we ain't all about the bread. We open up in the ears and no listen when we said, cause we lyrics them so smooth like the linen on the bed. Them one with a fall, we live in bandage, I must say true, we make this them. We in Global TV, we are 90, and 90. Who Jaja bless, no man can curse. Give it the Range Rover, who no drive yours. Boom! We in Global TV, to the fullest one cup of excellence, see me?
Good morning, and welcome to Ball and Roll Politics. Like and share the live feed. We're about to embark on another part in the pig pen. Like and share the live. Good morning and welcome to Global Television. If a showdown is about to go down between our illicit MP, call me hypocrite if you will, but I am Team Warminton. Let us egg Warminton on. because Warminton have the stories that we want. Good morning, and welcome to Global Television. Like and share the live. I am in Team Warminton corner. Call me hypocrite if you like, but Warminton have the stories, the juicy stories from the Prime Minister office. I dare you, Prime Minister. I dare you to rebuttal. We want to know who the illicit six are. Push a camera in Mr. Warmington's face. Ask Mr. Warmington a question. Good morning and welcome to At a Glance. Old host popped down over KSMC. But let me say this to Mark Golden before I forget. I am Team Warmington this morning because I want to hear what I want. I want to hear who illicit and who not illicit. Let's egg Mr. Warmington on. Let's point a camera in Mr. Warmington's face. Let's ask Mr. Warmington question. Is it about to go down? Is Andrew Holness on edge this morning? Old host broke down over KSMC. And by extension, old hosts are brought down across the country. But we are going to ask the Prime Minister, which one I know I tell lie this morning. Good morning and welcome to Ball and Roll Politics. It broke while we were asleep, but we are going to have our full share of it this morning. Old host popped down over KSMC. Ball and roll. Ball and roll politics. Let's egg on Mr. Warmington. There's a lot, an awful lot that we want to hear. Good morning to those on the X, to those on Twitch, on Facebook and on YouTube. Good morning and welcome to Global Television. Good morning to all my moderators. Good morning to all my family members. Good morning to the community of parity. Good morning to a successful People's National Party, no matter what the Jamaica Labour Party wants to say. Good morning to a Jamaica Labour Party balling and rolling. Take them to the nursery. Good morning to those on the live. Good morning to those in the chat. Good morning all, and welcome Natalia Freeman. Good morning, Debbie Jervis. Good morning, Dorothy Elliott. Good morning to Brenda. Good morning, VM. Good morning, Sunshine. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Simone Beckford. Good morning, Patricia Matthews. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to Yuri Salsky. Good morning to Millie McBean. Good morning, Agency Driver 5. Good morning, and welcome. Good morning to Beat and Teach. How are you? Good morning, Gillette Under Pressure. Good morning, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Rosemary Samuels, Jason Kane, Joan Brown, Ubuntu. Good morning, Marjorie Lloyd, Shaman Flowers. Good morning, Deborah Cohen. Good morning, all, and welcome. Michael Reeson. Good morning. Good morning, all, and welcome, Raymond. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. Rosemary Samuels. Good morning, Mary Messenger TV. Good morning, and welcome, Lennox Reed. Good morning, Carlene Darmer. Good morning, Carlene Humphreys. Good morning, Maxine Cummins. Good morning all, and welcome, Sharon Powell. Good morning, Sasha Lewis. Good morning all, and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, Stacy. Good morning, good afternoon, Sophia. Sorry, good morning, good afternoon, Nablet Blake. Abena Sadoki, good morning, good afternoon. Doreen Mofat, good morning, good afternoon. VM, good morning, good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon. If you're on the London Greenwich Mean Time, good afternoon. If you are on the Eastern Standard Time, good morning and welcome to Global Television. Labour said them win the election. But before the election, them start ball and roll. And since the election, them still a ball and a roll. Real Black Woman, good morning and welcome. Ray Bay Ricketts, good morning and welcome. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Anne-Marie McFarlane, good morning and welcome. Good morning, Georgia Dennis, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. But in the constituency of Southwest St. Elizabeth, the division of Black River, there was one of the Labour Party worker that was getting in tizzy and hissy fit. Good morning, Nerissa Smith. How are you? How are you, Nerissa? Good morning and welcome, old host. Old host, Nerissa. I popped down over Warrior. Good morning to cousin Jamie. Good morning to cousin Marina, sister Faith, brother Roger, brother Karen. Good morning. Good morning, Errol Clark. Good morning to Sim Sim. Good morning. Good morning to Jamaican Carlos. Good morning to DIE, the Jerk World. Good morning. Good morning to Anthony R. Good morning. Good morning to Andrew Mack. Good morning to Always Observing. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Good morning to Cheryl Chanel Williams. Whether you're on the live or not, or you'll be watching the rebroadcast. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. Let's start parting the pig pen. But first, we'll get into a bit of balling and rolling. This was one of the JLP worker in the Black River Division who was campaigning, good morning, Kirk Edwards, for Dr. Bamidili, who was a JLP candidate for the Black River Division. And this was her ball and rolling before the election.
Half hour no like me. Doctor is not a sitting counselor. People them pressure him fit personal things. Please don't do it. Me no uno fi stop it. Right? Mother and father blesses the child that have his own. Uno come out go work. Uno come out go work. Come out go work with Dr. McKeown. He have been in Black River for 35 years. Raise a family and live here. I didn't choose to be here. He's a very good man. He help everybody both sides. Me a beg you, in the name of Jesus. Stop. Stop and come out go help doctor. Stop. Uno same one. Uno same one you go around Christopher Tufton and get a lot of stuff. And Mr. Tufton lose by 13 vote. Please. I beg you with tears in my eyes this morning. Please, give Doctor a fair chance. I feel him time now. I'm here work for you win. God bless you, Lily. All right, love you. Love you. Give Doctor a fair chance. Thank you. Love you all, you bright. One party, third term for Andrew. Doctor will get in first term. I'm making continue stay there because I'm going to show a better work than the present that is there right now. Please, love you. Show out to the world.
This was before the election. They know how unsafe it was for them across the country. Good morning, Kenisha. Good morning and welcome to Global Television. Thank you for joining us. Veteran, big up, Wagwan, big up. Good morning, all, and welcome. Balling and rolling. But Councillor Joy, who you would think have a bit of joy in her heart, or somewhere inside her, she would have found dig deep. What are you all afraid of at the KSMC? What are you holding on? Morning, cousin Marina. How are you? Good morning and welcome. Good morning, Sharon Peart. What? I don't want the audit run. Make case and start run the audit. We want to know what I want up a KSMC. Make case and like and share the live, please. Because we're going to part the pig pen this because we're about to embark on another pig pen party. And if a showdown is about to go down, I am Team Warmington. Team Warmington, I am. Because Mr. Warmington have all the stories that we want to know. Mr. Warmington know the illicit MPs, club tax. I am Team Warmington. Let's egg Mr. Warmington on. Let's push a camera in Mr. Warmington's face. Let's ask Mr. Warmington a question. They say he resigned. You would have thought that would have been a graceful thing. But he said they threw me off the cliff. And you know the feeling. You know the feeling. I can tell how throw off the cliff feels. Is there a showdown? Will the Prime Minister, I dare you, Prime Minister. I dare you to speak, Prime Minister. You said he resigned. That sounds gracious. He said I was kicked. I was pushed. There was no reason for me to jump. Because my mouth always platter like behind cow. My mouth always a platter like behind cow. So there was no reason for me to jump. I was pushed right off the cliff, Mr. Warmington says. Right off the cliff. Let's egg him on. But let's listen to the debacle when they found out that one of their very own said, I cannot stand amongst the full craw, Mr. Ennis. Good evening. Good evening, full craw, Deputy Mayor.
Something naughty people. This really hurt me. I'm going to talk. You understand? Because I couldn't believe say Ennis would have do with this. You understand? Me couldn't believe say, and all the Ennis are going to say disrespect on this. And just because Ennis not get deputy mayor again, and Delroy get it. And if we say we are labor right, regardless of what, you not do your party this, and you not do your MP this, and you not do your constituency this, to care where you want to say. That means that you never have the Jamaica Labour Party 2020, and we are going to go down there, go sign as mayor. And one are going to be deputy, and one are going to be mayor. And two of them, the PMP, them, that's when you take the seat, and you give the blood clot PMP them. Because I take it, and give it. You give the PMP them, the councillors, as much as we did a JLP and PMP. Because at the two who that they are running, you take it, and you give the PMP them, and you come tell you know. So you're fucking labor, right? Me tell you this, me tell you grieve, you baby heart grieve. And they can't send this to me, I tell you. I tell you, I know. Me never expect this from you. Regardless of why you shouldn't do the Labour Party, this or not is this. You're going to talk about independent, my blood clot, what kind of independent? You're a fucking wicked man. And because of blood clot greed, you sit down there for blood clot 8 years and you're full of blood clot crowd. You understand? And and then this is where you do the party, and you do the MP, and you do the people them and naughties, and then you go up on the group and you go tell the people them say because by virtue of the affection. You can imagine, you take the counts, serious thing, serious blood to the Jamaica Labour Party, you take the counts and get the PMP them. You take the counts and get the PMP them. It's because they must, I don't know. Jesus Christ, me never expect this. God know me never expect this from Ennis. Me I tell you the naughty people, me the business one who want to say, but me I tell you no one to sit down and look into it. This is wicked. This is more than wicked. You're there in the Labour Party for much years. All of we go through disrespect. All of we go through everything. And you take the seat and give to PMP to blood clot. You can imagine.
And where the blood clot this? And where the blood clot this?
Ball and roll politics. Ball and roll. And to date, Nesta Morgan. To date, OPPS official Hugh Robatham. Good morning and welcome. To date, Nesta Morgan cannot respond to the result of the election. Yesterday, we see them in a parliament akin like a condom, swimming and battering like them in a water up to them neck, just around a question. Just around a question. And they were swimming and battering as if they were in water up to their neck, just to answer a question. How now go manage in the next 15 months, Jamaica Labour Party? How much the Prime Minister is going to buy the country for in his budget? Nicola Walker-Rodin, Herbert Tuesday, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. How much is the Prime Minister going to buy the country for? How much the Prime Minister is going to shake out of the bag to buy the country? But will the Prime Minister be able to tame Mr. Warmington? Will Andrew Holness be able to tame Mr. Warmington? Coming out of an election, battered, bruised, flow end, and soared Valerie Dennis, and then have to make a calculated move to match up to a gentleman move, Winston Dawkins, that Mark Golding made Mary, hold on there. Michelle Lewis Wilson, good morning, good morning, good morning. Rocky Pinto, good morning, and welcome. In order to match up to James, good morning, a gentleman move that Mark Golding made. Holness, which he wouldn't have normally done because he'd given the chance countless of times. And he turned a blind eye to everything Mr. Warmington sputtered. But because he was forced to match up to a gentleman move, a move that Mark Golding made with testicular fortitude, then he had to play the game and claimed. But do you all remember the other night I asked Andrew Holness, is there any truth to the argument that when you called Mr. Warmington on Wednesday, Mr. Warmington gave you the full length of his tongue? Do you all remember me saying that? And an emergency meeting have to be convened with the senior executive of the Jamaica Labour Party and the cabinet in order to negotiate a truce, Petra, good morning, between Warmington and Holness, because Warmington, when he called him, gave him the full length of his tongue. Did any one of you remember me saying that? It's on one of my program here. I don't remember which night it was. Gave him the full length of his tongue, and an emergency meeting have to be called. Listen to Mr. Holness speaking to Cliff Hughes. You've heard it before, but we must refresh our mind. Even on the witness stand, Jackie Graham. Even on the witness stand, you are allowed to call for your statement, read it, and refresh your mind. So let's refresh our mind this morning of what the Prime Minister said when he sat with Cliff Hughes.
Hotel in Hatfield, Manchester, where the keynote speaker for the launch of the mobile app RX Pack by Horton's Pharmacy is none other than the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness. Good evening, Mr. Prime Minister.
Good evening, Cliff. Good evening to your listeners, and particularly your listeners here in Mandeville.
How are you, sir?
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good. I had an opportunity to go around the country to do what I like to do, which is to interact with the people. I got to see firsthand, really, some of the challenges. And it's always good to have this kind of interaction, particularly midterm, so that you have an opportunity to recalibrate policies where it is necessary. But you get an opportunity for people to vent. You know, I'm going to write a book soon.
Oh,
I have to.
yes.
After, almost, 8 years of government and 27 years in politics. There's a lot of experiences that need to be placed in context because one sees the possibility of people repeating mistakes, meaning we haven't learned from history. And the long suffering of the Jamaican people creates a kind of what we call a kind of political culture that does not necessarily support our long-term development. Jamaica needs a long period of stable development. And because of grievance politics, because of people are frustrated with the current situation, and especially where they see growth happening in some areas, where they see some sections of the society benefiting from government policy in the context of high rises going up and more cars being imported.
Hold on the people before we go further. 540 are down there. Only 68 of you like the live. Please give the live a bit of support, please. It's not really too hard or difficult. It's very cumbersome to create content because you have to do a lot of research. You have to strain your eye on a media and phone for hours, either watching or listening or a read to bring you information. Hit the like button and give the live some support, please. It is not easy to bring you information. Ekron Sound System, good morning and welcome. It is not an easy thing to bring you information on a daily basis. It takes a lot of time to do that. So give the live some support by hitting the like button and share the live to your friends and WhatsApp group and Facebook page, George Eagle Eye. Good morning and welcome. Let's continue to listen to the Prime Minister.
And, people are growing, businesses are growing, but then
they're not feeling it.
But there is a set in the society, a demographic that is not necessarily seeing it happening for them. And there is this impatience. Will it happen for us? Will government policies last long enough to get to us? And I've seen several things like that. For example, I was in Raytown campaigning, and a young lady came up to me and she said, "Prime Minister, you can't increase the minimum wage." I said, "But I just did. I increased it 100%. It tells you that, yes, it's 100%, but the wages were very low to start with, and then the inflation.
Yeah.
So there are real challenges, and
So
we can't ignore those.
Having had that experience, being on the road, yes, you're about to craft a budget. You're running with a timetable now of no more than 15 months to the next general elections. You're in trouble politically, given the results on Monday. Yes, the opposition came out of those elections stronger. Yes, are we likely to see a budget that reflects what you dubbed here this evening and before a caring economy?
So let's deal with a couple of things. The opposition thinks they are stronger. The opposition base came out. They still were not able to overcome our base, which did not come out fully.
You ended up with 285,000 votes. They came out with about 305,000.
But they still were not able to overturn the structure of the local government in terms of the number of seats won.
But again, they defeated you on the number of seats.
So
they're at 113.
No,
you're about
in the terms of the number of
105.
councils, which is really the measure of the victory of the local government.
Yes.
The issue is
you
that
underperformed.
Nobody disputes that our base did not come out. That is clear. And there are many issues which could have contributed to that. As I've said, frustration, grievances, all kinds of issues. And those have to be properly analyzed. In any event, even if we didn't have a local government election, going into a general election, we would have had to analyze what the current state of play is. You now have the best poll in the local government to tell you.
Actual votes,
to tell you where you are and what you need to do. So in a way, it is a kind of blessing in disguise for us to have this, really good lay of the land established. So
it's a wake-up call for you and your administration.
I think it is. We knew this was the situation.
You knew.
We knew this was the situation. The issue now is, how do we increase the pace of delivery? Most Jamaicans will say that the government has done well. There's no question about that.
Yes.
The issue is the pace of delivery. How do we get it to the people who have not yet benefited in the society?
And that will speak to the capacity of the public service to deliver.
So if you notice, we started the year with a mantra. I said, this year we have to focus on peace and productivity. I think we're making some ways towards peace. The productivity issue has not really been fully addressed. So the public sector has a very important role in the ability of the government to deliver. And so the wage issues are still a concern, but we still have to get to performance management if we're going to be able to increase the pace of delivery.
I noticed the budget this year has moved by 30% over last year, from just over 1 trillion to 1.3 trillion.
Well, that's the point I've been making, that we have an economy that is producing increased revenues. And I'm not saying that this is going to always be the case. We have to keep on managing the economy, which is why, look, I went out very hard for a local government election because we have been at this juncture in our history before where we had the economy turning around, and then because of frustration, fatigue, the electorate, the political
1989, February
you are the student
1989.
of politics.
Yes.
The electorate made a decision, and then we got in a lull for 18 years. And it's, if people are quarreling about water and roads, really reflected on it and say, how long have you had this problem? In 90% of the cases, it's long before this administration, long before the other administration and the other administration. It is now that we are in a position to be able to deliver, to be able to truly address the problem. We have never had a program like the Spark program. The other programs, the MID-P or JD, these are funds that we had to borrow. This is the first time we're able to take from our budget and say we're going to deliver. And that is being done.
So for the people watching you this evening, next month when the budget...
Look, why do you want me to tell you what my budget speech is right here?
Well, give it
give him the budget speech will be read on the 21st.
And there will be...
I have been saying it. We have to build a caring economy. We knew this. This has been my statement long before. The frustrations are real. When you go across Jamaica, there are two stark things now. You're seeing lovely highways being built, but you're also seeing some terrible roads. That juxtaposition must create a sense of, the inequity and am I going to be left behind? People may not believe government when we say, listen, it's coming to you. I want it now. And in a competitive political atmosphere, it is good fodder for an opposition to utilize. We know this.
I'm getting the wrap-up signal. Let me ask you. Did you fire Warmington, or you demanded his resignation, or what?
This
what
question keeps coming up. In our Westminster system, once the Prime Minister, whoever the Prime Minister is, says, come, let's talk, you know what the position is. Our protocol, our convention is that once you're called in, you say, Prime Minister, I offer. You don't wait until somebody says you're fired. And
under that convention, it's a firing, it's a dismissal on the Westminster.
Look, Everard is someone who has worked very hard in the party. Everard is known for his outlandish comments. I spoke with him. He's regretful. He sees the difficulty that it posed for the party. And in a deep discussion with him, he explained that today, yes, and yesterday as well, which was a result of his press release. He explained, what happened and what led him to it. But as a minister, I think he understood.
You had one too many from him.
As a minister, you have to be very careful about your statements. As a minister, he has to be very careful about his statement.
You had lost confidence in him, didn't you?
As a minister,
yes.
I think as any minister, they have to be very careful about their statements.
Are you going to be retooling Belmont Road now?
Belmont Road, the retooling had started long before, but it definitely needs to be intensified. Yeah. So, you know me, I'm a very frank person. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Our supporters know, and the Jamaica Labour Party supporters are our greatest critics. If they don't feel comfortable
He said Mr. Warmington knew that once he's been called in, the Westminster Convention would have tipped Mr. Everell off to say, let me walk with a resignation in my jacket pocket because this is going to be the tone of the argument. That is what the Prime Minister is expecting us to believe. But after having that talk with Mr. Warmington and the day before, the conversation on the phone, Prime Minister, was it that conversation you're describing, Prime Minister? Was that the conversation you had with Mr. Warmington? The one on the phone you said the day before, was that the conversation you have? Or was that a riotous throwdown where him tell you everywhere where you go, and everything where you figure do? Me can repeat Warmington word them come and tongue us up big and long and drop down like behind cow. So me can repeat Warmington word them. But which is it, Prime Minister? Is it the one where you tell with, or the one where you hear? The one where we hear, or the one where you tell with? But before we listen to Mr. Warmington's side of the story, let me just say hello to a few people who have joined. Kenroy Johnson, good morning and welcome. Good morning. Good morning to Colin Stewart. Good morning and welcome. Rejoice in him always. Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining. Good morning and welcome. Nicola Pitt, good morning and welcome. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. Lloyd Gregory, good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome. I don't want to miss anyone. Beulah, good morning and welcome. Delroy Henry, good morning and welcome. Good morning. Yes, good morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. The Prime Minister spoke of two separate conversations with Mr. Warmington. Prince Diamond, good morning and welcome. I heard also, Victor Williams, good morning, of two conversations which I spoke about in one of my shows one night with Mr. Warmington and the Prime Minister. Patricia Robson, good morning and welcome. The Prime Minister has also admitted to Cliff that they had a conversation on the phone doing angling, and they had a conversation when they meet up. But my concern is, Prime Minister, what was the tone of the conversation, Dave Carter? What was the tone of the conversation you had on the phone with Mr. Warmington before that meeting? Was it a conversation where him tell you wara wara and tara tara, Prime Minister, and which part you feel? Sling your head and buck your head, Prime Minister. Was that the conversation, Alfonso Bless? Good morning. Was that the conversation you had with Mr. Warmington before the meeting, Prime Minister? And is, Prime Minister, we must continue to ask, is there any truth to the argument that you have to call a meeting of the senior executive of the cabinet on the Jamaica Labour Party in order to negotiate a truce between you and Mr. Warmington? If a showdown is about to go on, I am Team Warmington.
When we caught up with the controversial member of parliament, he was
Delroy Davis, morning and welcome.
uncharacteristically welcoming. Were you fired or were you forced to resign?
I was fired.
That's contrary to the February 29 statement from the office of the Prime Minister, which stated that Mr. Warmington resigned from the cabinet. It followed comments he made in a viral video about withholding funds from a PNP councillor in his constituency.
The PM said to me, I should divulge more and say, ask the question, that because of civil society, he can't keep me there. But at the same time, he's asked me to go in the field to work for the party for his next election. The question I ask.
Hey, They know want me dirty character, yeah, so. Hey, but they want it over, yeah, so. Is this interview from Mr. Warmington the first nail into the old-fashioned cedar board of Andrew Holness's coffin? Delphi, good evening, good morning, and welcome. This interview from Mr. Warmington. I am Team Warmington. Let's egg Mr. Warmington on. Let's push a camera in Mr. Warmington's face. Let's ask Mr. Warmington any question we want to know who the illicit lots are. Mr. Warmington, no. Let's provoke the Warming. Let's provoke the Warming. Is this the first nail into the old-fashioned cedar board of the Andrew Holness dying political career?
When we caught up with the controversial member of parliament, he was uncharacteristically welcoming. Were you fired or were you forced to resign?
I was fired.
That's contrary to the February 29 statement from the office of the Prime Minister, which stated that Mr. Warmington resigned from the cabinet. It followed comments he made in a viral video about withholding funds from a PNP councillor in his constituency.
The PM said to me, I should divulge more and say, ask the question, that because of civil society, he can't keep me there. But at the same time, he's asked me to go in the field to work for the party for his next election. The question I ask, if civil society can't accept me as part of his cabinet, how then civil society will accept me working in the field to elect him again as Prime Minister?
But don't you think his hands were tied, though, given that the reaction from the opposition leader with Dennis Meadows?
I saw no chain or rope on his hands. Don't ask me a question. Meadows, as I said, is a different case from mine entirely. He was promoting criminality. I was not, never yet. Okay? But in terms of civil society, and there's some others in Leopard who forced him to.
Back to the opium statement, Mr. Warmington said his remarks were misunderstood and were focused on the fact that MPs direct funds for constituencies and councillors direct funds for the municipal corporations. Of note, however, Mr. Warmington also stated in the video that he was the Minister of Works when pointing out that no PNP councillor is going to get his money. So we asked him to clarify.
Can you point to a single minister who has the ability or the right or any avenue through which a minister can locate funds from minister?
Why did you say why did you make that statement?
You can't answer me question, ask me another question.
But you're the one who made the statement, Mr. Warmington.
And can you tell me one minister that does or who can? Answer the question and I come to you.
So why did you make the statement then?
Because it's my mouth. I don't have the permission to speak. I don't pay lies to my mother, darling. I don't. But I would say that St. Minister was a slip of the tongue anyhow.
Mr. Warmington went.
And now pay license for me mouth. Talk who the illicit MPs are. Talk anything you know about Juliet and Andrew. You don't pay tax. You a church down back a cow there where you just leg us up. But I am Team Warmington. Kenny Ailey, Linda, Cynthia B., good morning and welcome.
Further to defend his track record and integrity while serving the JLP for the past 55 years. He stressed that his name has never been called in any criminal activity. But over the years, Mr. Warmington, in all fairness, you've had a record of being dismissive towards the media, being disrespectful towards the opposition counterpart. Why not?
I speak my mind. Is that disrespectful? No. If you are hypocrite and hide what you have to say, then you can say that. But I don't know about disrespectful. Why call disrespectful? I don't need to talk about disrespectful. I speak my mind because I'm an upfront person. I'm not going to play games and smile with you and at your back and I stab you. No. You must know how I feel at all times.
Now, in regards to his future in the JLP and whether he will be supporting the party, this is what Mr. Warmington had to say.
After 55 years, I've finished working with the party. At this stage, I'll be working for a few selected candidates who want me to. My election may be a year after, so I'll be working Southwest St. Catherine. I've resigned as chairman of the Area Council 2, okay? And my national profile in working with the party, I think that is in doubt now. I have no regrets to have worked for Andrew Holness then. I have none at all because I don't regret anything I do. I have no regret having worked for him then, help him, you can even say protect him then against the vipers. I have no regret. But the issue is, the question is, will I do it again?
Kelisha Williams.
Tap there. I helped him. Before I get to the other debacle, because this is something I spoke about many times. I helped him. I protected him then. Did I not say to you all that Edward Warmington and the Minister of National Security, the criminal, was two of them in the race between Holness and Shaw? Those two were two of them who aligned their money and their bad man against what he called the vipers. That are the Shaw camp. The Shaw camp. And the other labor them where they are go against Andrew Holness. Those were the person Mr. Warmington is suggesting he not only help him from, but protect him. You think this is going to be a nice showdown? I dare you to speak, Andrew Holness. Come out, come tell we say a lie, Mr. Warmington, I tell. We know you as a liar. We always know him as a nasty splatter blobby mouth. That's what we know him for. BCA Smith, good morning and welcome. But all of us know you, Andrew Holness. You cannot not tell lies. So it's all coming out. They're speaking it. Edward Warmington aligned his money and him badman them to Andrew in order to bring Andrew to victory against Audley Shaw. You see, it's all coming out now. You think this is going to... Let's all gather around the pig pen. Decide which pig go hold. Do you want a push through? Dwayne Hutchinson, good morning and welcome. Because we're going to have to hold on to pig, but let me tell you something. I am Team Warmington. Mr. Warmington has been kicked. If I was to interview Mr. Warmington, my opening statement of the interview would be, boy, Mr. Warmington, after so much years and being of such great support, not in a million years, Mr. Warmington. Marlene Gordon, good morning. Not in a million years, Mr. Warmington, I would have dreamt that the Labour Party would throw you off a cliff, Mr. Warmington, and all hell. All hell would break loose. All we have to do to get what we want out of Mr. Warmington is egg him on, ask him a question, treat him pitifully, because we want to know. Our only chance of getting to know who the illicit six are is for Prime Minister Andrew Holness to respond to what Mr. Warmington says in his interview. Let's egg on Mr. Warmington. The KSMC really a bad down. It really a bad down a Prime Minister. Why wanna lose the KSMC? But I hope Mark Golden and his team is ready to start running audits all over the place. Give access to all that they were denying access from. We want to know about the 100 million that the Auditor General told us about just before election, that isn't accountable for in the municipalities across the country. We want audit to start running. You have to go around the country, Mark Golden, hitting Andrew Holness in him knee and elbow, collarbone, right up to the general election. If them a ball and roll so now, if they're unable to concede, where is Nesta Morgan commiseration statement? The people them say, bro God, Prime Minister, bro God, is only you can manage with country. The Prime Minister keep deafness with two things. The only two things the Prime Minister used to deaf us, other than ringing the bell, twilight and night. Other than going around ringing bell. I don't know why my thing like to behave like this. Other than going around ringing bell, twilight and night, let's egg on Warminton because we want to see the showdown. We want to see the showdown. Travel with Shelley. Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us. We want to see the showdown between the Warminton camp and the Holness regime. And I, hypocritically, is in the Warminton camp. But ever since the local government election approaches, the Prime Minister only have about three things to talk about. How well he's doing on the economy, how well he's doing on the highways, and how much money he stole from the Michael Mann to introduce housing trust to go around the country using it as his public purse, using it to buy votes and calling it social program. Because of the performance of our economy, the Jamaicans are in a position to demand more, as they should. And we are giving more and doing more for our national development and for your own satisfaction. You just said at Cliff Hughes' program, Prime Minister. You said when you spoke on Cliff Hughes' program, days after the election, when that snail, Elaine Turner, good morning and welcome. When that snail, Angela 48349, good morning and welcome. How are you? When that snail crawled his entire way across the country for a week, and yet that snail still left us in a rather confused situation as to our general result. I wonder if any more Labour councillors want to go independent across the country. Don't jump like the thief in Venetia, you know. Because what is successful for Brother Dog not always work for Brother Puss. It worked for Romaine Morris because Romaine Morris seems to be a good politician who looks after people and look out for talent. And if he identified talent, one that would seem to support them. Mitchie, good morning and welcome. How now go turn up to the scrutiny going forward? You got a 10-day ultimatum from 30,000 strong civil service corps. 10 days to come and sort the salary debacle out. And Rumpus will unleash on you in 10 days. How are you going to withstand all of this, Prime Minister? And now we have a debacle about to ensue between you and the Warmington camp, which the camp that I am in. But look at why Nesta Morgan lost a division. Dalton G, good morning and welcome. Look at why Nesta Morgan lost a division that battered away into his knee, Mavis Gooden, which would make it highly unlikely that Nesta Morgan will be returned to the House of Representatives in the next election.
Big boss was when you said, yeah, man. You got to respect when you do things, yeah. Machine and things. They might think we have to do so now. You see me? Right now, so they look.
And that machine is a user make this?
Yeah, man, machine, man.
You make this?
Yes, man. So you know,
see, go on the place, okay? Go this up. You see me? You make this right here, that's our moko. People look on this. Good quality. How much for this?
I'm the one that will find you.
How much for this?
I'm two grand.
How much for that one?
Same 2 grand, I don't want to have a cheese.
Right, that's our Mount Providence, right in there, moko.
Sharon Robson, send the retraction, come give me. I want to see it and hear for myself. I not see and hear about it yet. If him do it, send it, come give me. Because me want to hear it for myself.
So you want a sewing machine, and use the sewing machine, and I make money off a sewing machine. So people, more you support it, right? More you support it. Tell the people them, Mr. Richard, your number, because people might want to call you or WhatsApp you in order to get them in the store or something.
Yeah, man, if you want to link up me, just can get me from my contact, 344-2438. I'm Instagram page, push on underscore, boss underscore. So I can link you up, see me if you don't want to I'm push on to see you. So I can link you up, see me.
Yeah, man, and if you don't hear the number, I put the number in the caption.
Let me say to the political prostitute, because that's what Venetia used his political ambitions to do. Prostitute herself, whichever side of the fence it benefits her. Venetia was like many who gave up, and the People's National Party, and think that the Golden Campbell mix wasn't gonna cut through. So while there's a lot of money washing in the KSMC and so all the thieving and the chicory go on, let me get a seat over there. That means that I will be in the big league thief, Venetia. Jay, good morning and welcome. It didn't work for a political prostitute because for a social climber, Miss Phillips, does not see the interests of the people, would not pay attention to the people in order, Miss Phillips, to identify talent. And not only identify talent, Miss Phillips, but nurture them. How much money did you steal from the 2022, from the 2016 local government election from the People's National Party? How much money you stole from the double-digit millions that KSMC and Andrew Holness bought you out for and gave you to campaign? How much of that are you left with, Miss Phillips? That is the reason why it didn't work for you. You're a social climber. Are you saying Ernest retracted? Let's see. If him retract at the labor right, Juliet and Andrew would have reached to him and pay him off and buy him out. Because if him retract, then it's going to still leave a bittersweet politics in the Labour Party, which is going to open a wound anyway. So however way they want to play it, the gate for division has been swung wide open in the Jamaica Labour Party. Why is this? As weak leader of the party, a leader of your party who has been there for 8 years, a leader of your party who has become dictatorial, even in the cabinet and with many of your ministries, many of your departments and agencies, Verna Adams. A prime minister that has just come out of an election this week is at huge risk, is what is called a sitting duck, just waiting there for somebody to pick him off. Why this would be? A lot of people with political ambitions is now very worried about their political future, going into a general election with a weak, battered, bruised prime minister who has failed on all of his promises including the one-day promise. Rohan Williams, good morning and welcome. If you notice the Prime Minister go around the country, and the Prime Minister cannot use the word crime. He rather use the word peace, or he substitute crime for violence, as if crime is just all about violence. So the Prime Minister is a sitting duck the moment he came out of the election this week. Dennis Hart, good morning and welcome. And now to be in a face-off, Prime Minister, to be in a face-off with someone who will be going around to a lot of the young, promising members in the Labour Party. And so now, blood clot idiot, beg on a pardon. Una go down on the sinking ship with Andrew. Una see Andrew full in blood clot cry already. Pardon the expression, but it ought to be said, because this is the type of conversation that Mr. Warmington will be backstabbing Andrew Holness with in order to get back at Andrew Holness, who would have double filled his crowd and want to kick Mr. Warmington out, Paula Shelley, of 1 year and 5 months worth of corn feeding. So Mr. Warmington is not going to take that lightly, and it is shown in his interview that Bangarang is about to pop. Speak, Andrew Holness. Speak. If you think you're a man, Andrew Holness, if you think you're in control of the Jamaica Labour Party, Andrew Holness, I dare you to speak. Speak, Andrew Holness. Can't quiet like a nester. The right person is out of the camp. All you have to do is 1, egg him on, and 2, provoke him. Let the battle begins. Because if Patrick Evans, good morning and welcome. If Andrew Holness think there's an easy get around this debacle that is about to go down, I wonder how much the Prime Minister, the buy-in won't help you, Prime Minister. Because the members of the Jamaica Labour Party, especially people like Nestor Morgan, who has political ambition, that is going to lose his seat because he has already lost a division. Floyd Green. Darrell Vaz has political ambition. Even the crooked wife of the Prime Minister have political ambition to be leader of our country. But would the other crook be so barefaced? There are young, promising people in the Jamaica Labour Party that is willing to throw Andrew under the bus. Just give them some more time. Let's watch it for the next 6 months. Because if Andrew Holness is not replaced in 6 months, I guarantee you, Jamaican G, good morning. I can guarantee you, if they decide to go to the poll with Andrew Holness come next general election, it will be an onslaught at the polls for a lot of the Jamaica Labour Party candidates across the country. An onslaught. Do you think they are foolish enough to take the risk? This is a Prime Minister that is about to be toppled, not just by a disgruntled cabinet member who has become a backbencher. Will Andrew Holness yield? Andrew Holness, not a lot of problem, you know. A true uno don't know. I don't know if Andrew Holness get up off of the toilet this morning. Everett Warmington open a can of worms, no matter how silent Andrew want to play it. Will the Prime Minister be able to withstand the backstabbing that is about to happen? Will the Prime Minister be able to survive what is about to come? Or is it time up or time come for Andrew Holness to make place for some other thief? Earl Rankin, good morning and welcome. Is it time for Andrew Holness to make place for another thief? Because under this Andrew Holness, the Jamaica Labour Party is going to be slaughtered at the poll. Andrew full him wife and him picnic them belly already. Are you willing to go underwater with the Prime Minister? Or will you push the Prime Minister, replace him? Carla Hayes, good morning. Push the Prime Minister, replace him, and try to repair yourself, your credibility, giving yourself at least a year, John, before a general election, which you still now go win, because the country has had enough. Delta Tomlin, good morning and welcome. The country has had enough of this dictatorial regime who has failed and all its promises. A regime who has steal a lot of public resources. A regime which has enriched themselves out of the country. Illicit MPs. Good morning, Gloria Morris. I dare one of you to come out here and criticize Mr. Warmington. I dare the Prime Minister to push back on Mr. Warmington's argument. I wonder if Darrell Vaz think it's going to be an easy showdown. I dare the illicit MPs provoke Mr. Warmington, because there's a lot that we need to know. Particularly before a general election, we need to know who the illicit MPs are. Because they're not just so 16, so we need to say illicit MPs. How up them? We want to know. And by provoking Mr. Warmington, we could listen to Mr. Warmington again, because this is a nail in Andrew's coffin, whether you think of it or not. This is a nail. Tony Tall, good morning and welcome. This is a nail in Andrew Holness's coffin. So my advice to the losing Jamaica Labour Party at the next election, to save yourself a few seats, because what I don't want the country to swing in the way that it did in 2020. It's too much power to give to one party. I want a balance of power in the country. So when there's to be a legislation, there's a debate and a consensus and an amendment between both parties, rather than the Prime Minister take a legislation into Parliament, ram-raid it through. Morning, Anthony, how are you? Antonio, good morning and welcome. Ram-raid it through the Parliament in a matter of 8 hours, Annie Jones. It's a very dangerous thing to give to any one party in your country. There must always be a balance in the legislature where they have to meet each other halfway to get a legislation through Parliament properly, rather than the government could just get up in the night, make up some announced story, and then legislate it in the morning because they have the political power and the legislative power to do so. So that's a very dangerous thing. But I'm telling you, Jamaica Labour Party, if you decide to go to the poll with Andrew Holness, you are going to have many of this. Not just in Kingston, but right across the country come November 2020, September 2025. Like most of us, like Mr. Warmington, most of us lie awake awaiting the Prime Minister's next move because we are on a pigpen rant this morning. Marceline Maitland, good morning. You've just arrived when the program is coming to its end. But make sure you return this evening because we are laid down in our grass and await for the Prime Minister's next move because we are very much interested in a showdown or a truth telling or a comeback with trash it out, me most dead. Or a comeback with trash it out between the Prime Minister and the Minister of Works without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister. And these minister without portfolio, my definition of it is just, Minister, what can I find for you to do today? It's all that it simple is. But Everett Warminton being one who has been in the Andrew Holness cabinet for quite some time, in the office of the Prime Minister, where a lot goes on, where millions, Prime Minister, a huge chunk on the Holness, a huge chunk of $1.7 trillion that has been unaccounted for under Holness is from your very office, the office of the Prime Minister. Can you withstand that going into a general election, Prime Minister? A 30,000 strong civil service corps about to embark on disruption, lest you yield to them because they have caught you slipping, as the young British culture would say. And we caught him slipping, caught him off guard, we would say in Jamaica. The young British would say, we caught him slipping. So because we caught you slipping, Prime Minister, and you, the Prime Minister, said because the economy is doing so well, the people of Jamaica should demand more, and rightly so, said the Prime Minister. Then the civil service corps, Prime Minister, who some of them don't have fear to go back and work a week after them get paid, is demanding more. Will you, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, meet them halfway? Or will you stand with your broad shoulder all the way to the general election? Andrew Holness, can you withstand that? With Everett Warmington and his hammer, Andrew Holness, in the background, ready to crack the nut the time you dare speak. Thank you very much for being here with us on Global TV this morning. The Pigpen Showdown. Bound to happen. The Pigpen Showdown. Bound to happen. Just call Warmington name. I am Team Warmington. Good morning and good afternoon. This was your At a Glance program. Join us back here this evening at 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern time for your Drive Time London Lunchtime Global program. If you haven't yet liked the live, please hit the like button before you go. If you're on the live and you have not yet subscribed to the program, please do subscribe to Global Television. We mainly do live programs over here. So as soon as we set a broadcast, you'll be able to know that we are up and out. Thank you very much for being here with us this morning. We hope to see you right back here this evening. Good morning and good afternoon from Global Television. Andrew Mack, how you doing? Good morning and good afternoon all. Let's work. Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for